Oscar Smith looking to win their 45th straight district game. And let's jump right into this matchup. We talked about it before. Oscar Smith with one loss, but it was out of district. Grassfield comes into this matchup undefeated, and this has been a rivalry that's been growing the last few years, Matt.
Yeah, at least since Grassfield High School opened up, and Oscar Smith playing without their star running back, J.C. Coleman, committed to Virginia Tech, out with the ankle injury. Coach Rich Morgan deciding to rest him as a precautionary reason, and in his place, the freshman Deshaun McLeese gets the start, and he's playing pretty well on the first series of the game for the Tigers. Ran for over 30 yards on their first possession, and it's McLeese capping off that opening possession with a touchdown 3 yards out as Oscar Smith gets on the board to start. Grassfield's offense, Blake LaRusso at quarterback trying to elude the pressure, and he finds an open man in Marcus Mitchell for a short gainer. As Grassfield, more of a running team, Matt, than a team likes to air it out. In this game with the weather like it is, a little bit of rain, cold, they're going to keep it on the ground most of the night.
That's right. They stick to the running game right here. It's Grassfield trying to find some room to work with. You see it's high wind, the rain coming down. The band will still play on here. You have the kick here. Oscar Smith looks to return, and you have a team full of playmakers, and here's one of them right here on a nice return across midfield.
That's Saquon Gooding, committed to play his college football at Western Michigan, putting Oscar Smith around midfield in this game where the wind is whipping and the pressure's coming on quarterback J.J. Williamson. The future Hampton Pirate will lose his footing here as he's brought down by a group of Grizzlies trying to take him down all night long. That pressure was in his face. Grassfield's got the offense right now going with Vincent Lowe. He's a running back that's got a lot of speed, but he puts the ball on the carpet. You can't do that. Oscar Smith takes over.
Leave the football, Matt. Now we'll see JJ on the bubble screen. Receiver makes a catch, uses all of those blockers, gets to the opposite side of the field, tries to cut back here. Nice pickup through the air. You see Oscar Smith maybe without their running back Coleman trying to pick it up through the air, but then ball comes loose. Fortunately, though, for Oscar Smith, they do recover the loose football.
That was Zach Jones on the catch, and you might have heard of Zach's brothers. Perry Jones playing at UVA, a former Tiger standout, also brother Joe Jones, now on the Oscar Smith coaching staff. And this time, Zach with a pass, doesn't really throw it, he's just a receiver, and it gets picked off by Vincent Lowe right near the goal line. So a big break for the Grassfield defense as they try to stay in this one. And Oscar Smith's been scoring a couple times big in the third quarter in most of their games. Not the case here as the Grassfield defense has clamped down. Oscar Smith now going to the air game, and it's J.J. Williamson with a beautiful throw and catch. Zach Jones on the reception, his 7th touchdown of the year on the receiving end. It's 14-0 Oscar Smith late in the third quarter.
And Grassfield will go back to the running game here as the running back is able to find a hole, and he'll get the Grizzlies on the scoreboard with that impressive touchdown run.
That's future Maryland Terrapin Avery Thompson on a 29-yard scamper to the end zone. Grassfield has cut into that Oscar Smith lead 14-7, now trying to tie things up in front of their home fans, and Vincent Lowe showing the speed, getting out to the edge there, and Grassfield into Oscar Smith territory. And they're driving, but you can't fumble the ball. It's their second lost fumble, and Oscar Smith, the team that's too good and will capitalize on that. So Oscar Smith dodges a bullet there, and now they have a chance to add on to their 14-7 lead.
Once again, the conditions making an impact. The wet football comes loose. You see the Grassfield cheerleaders trying to rally the defense here, but Oscar Smith goes back to the vertical game. It's J.J. Williamson on the play action. He's got a receiver, and he's going to take that one all the way in for the touchdown.
Williamson, 31 yards to Saquon Gooding. Grassfield couldn't get that one last defensive stop they needed to get back in this thing. The offense, though, will mount another drive, though, as it's Blake LaRusso finding the open man. That's Stephen Baldwin for a reception there inside the 10-yard line, and Grassfield will cap it off with a quick touchdown run by Blake LaRusso, but there's not a whole lot of time left as there's under a minute to go, and Oscar Smith, all they have to do is recover an onside kick, and they can run the clock out, and the Tigers hop on it. So Oscar Smith will claim at least a share of the Southeastern District title for an 8th straight year. 21-14 Tigers. They run that winning streak in the league play to 45 games. Williamson with 2 touchdown passes and a loss for Grassfield. That defense played well, though. Austin Johnson with 10 tackles, 3 for a loss, and a sack.
And we'll continue on here. Scores around the district. Hickory 34-25 over Nansemond River. Andy Eaton with 237 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns. Lakeland 28-14 over Indian River. Raekwon Johnson, as we said before, 280 rushing yards. And Kings Fork over Deep Creek 48-21. Charles Clark 158 rushing yards and 2 scores.
Eastern District action. Lake Taylor stays undefeated in league play, 47-0 over Churchland Brandon. Porkchop Moore with 172 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. It was Granby shutting out Booker T. Washington 27-0 behind Paul Dukes' 81 yards and 2 touchdown runs. Norcom setting up a big matchup with Lake Taylor for first place. They defeat the Commodores 42-20 behind 3 touchdown catches from Joe Powell. And Norview gets over 500, 47-7 over Wilson. Quayshawn Williams, 3 touchdowns total in that one as the Pilots have turned it around after last year's winless season.